The film opens with a spectacular view of outer space, where two astronauts are on a satellite repair mission. In the vastness of space, they have fun talking and playing with each other. Suddenly, a strange sound and a bright light, interrupting the conversation. They panicked and reflexively gave the air cover. Their faces showed extreme horror. The scene moved back to Earth, where Bob is Charlie. Rock and Brendan are driving to pick up two girls, ANI and Kara, to spend the weekend at a remote bungalow. When stopping for gas, everyone gets out of the car. Only Charlie stays and listens to the music. I brought you some snacks and asked about the situation. But Charlie, tell me you've got a lot on your mind, and don't want to share. I feel that, so leave me alone. While Brendan goes for a walk, taking pictures around, and found suspicious blood in the back of a car. When you're watching, a man appeared and attacked. I suspect Brandon is a reporter. Although Brandon tried to explain that they just come in, filling up the man is still hostile. He opened up the back of the car to reveal the body of a lost animal. Charlie went to find the brand, and saw the man holding onto his friend. After a convincing recovery, Charlie finally got the man to release Brandon I. They hurried back to the car and left. Dan Brand recounted the terrifying experience for the whole group to hear, to where the group carried their luggage into the bungalow, and admire its beauty. Brandan, Andy and Charlie out. Let Brandan set up photography equipment, while Kara and Brock stay in the house. Outside while the knitting Brand is busy with the camera. Charlie and Andy take a walk. Andy asks Charlie about the girl in the photos. On your phone. Together, they admire the beauty of the nearby waterfall. Dan called them back to show them an old house. You just found out. ANI leads and they follow deep inside. They're amazing when you see a collection of frozen animals. While exploring, ANI suddenly coughs violently and has to use an inhaler. Brandan pays attention to a photo on the wall and realizes that's the man they met. At the gas station, they saw pictures of him in his suit, astronauts and military uniforms. It's time to discuss. They heard the car approaching. The man from the gas station came out. They hastily hide in another room, but he quickly discovered there was someone in the house. Fortunately, the group escaped through the window, like a man in a car chasing. Charlie fell, but you pick them up and they keep running. They come home and they're going to tell Kara and Brock. Kara pointed to the sky, where a violent storm is coming. Somewhere else, a group of scientists are coming together when Dr. Lauren showed pictures from the event, the investigation of the committee, about the robot project that ended in 1969. Even though the project is over, the pilots continue to report the same experiences. Over the years, Dr. Lauren asked to bring Rama in, and he showed up in handcuffs. Colonel Malland asked Romanovic to share the story he wanted to tell. Before that, Rock announced to Charlie that you found something stuck between the anode and the chassis, short-circuit battery. Charlie realizes who could be the culprit and explained that they found an abandoned house. It belongs to a strange man, confronted Brand at the gas station. Charlie concluded that this person is targeting them all. Rock advised Charlie, don't mention this to girls, because they don't want AI to ruin their vacation. At the scientists' meeting, they get notified about having guests coming to the area. Romanovic warned that, even though they can't stop these visitors, but they can prepare for it. Meanwhile, at the bungalow, Charlie and Dan are talking about your girlfriend. You reveal that she didn't break up with you. That passed away. In another room, Kara and Paul are kissing. It was interrupted by a call from Kara's mother. The hunter, the man is targeting the group of friends, is seen preparing the tool. While watching TIBI, he sharpened his tools and carried them away. A violent storm is emerging in the region. The hunter watched through binoculars. I saw a blue light coming down from the sky. And suddenly, he started convulsing. At the same time, Romanovic also experienced the same situation. After recovery, Romanovic told others that the guests knew he was here. They assured him he was safe. But he insisted he didn't have to worry. For yourself. At the bungalow, Kara woke up and looked out the window. I noticed a red storm in the sky. Rock or you? But she didn't react and suddenly fell down. Knitting Brand is monitoring the camera you set. I found the hunter poking near the house and warn others. Go to the car to get a gun. On the way back, the rock meets a slime on the ground, and upon close observation, I saw a creature growling at the car. Panicked, I ran back to the house. The group asked Han, but he denied what had happened. Kara looked out the window and saw a red light. As a shadow approaches the window, they retreated and turned off the lights, then start discussing the next step. Rock Zero. I agree with Charlie's plan and call him a coward. It led to a brief argument. It only stopped when Kara wasn't feeling well. Suddenly, they heard a noise and Granda and Charlie went to investigate. They found a red glowing object. It's floating outside. While trying to figure out what it is, Rock joined them and asked to remove the car battery. Dan and Andy come to the garage, while Charlie and Rock into the living room. When you see a red glowing object, Rock panicked and accidentally shot Kara. I carried her to the car before they could leave. Kara did not survive. In a panic, Rock with a gun pointed at, they ordered the others to run into the forest to create dispersion. Suddenly, a red light appeared. Charlie took this opportunity to try take the gun of the Rock. During the struggle, Charlie knocked the Rock unconscious. Our friends quickly ran to the car and started, but as they drove away, they suddenly appeared on the road. Charlie had to drive and had an accident. Coming up with the gun Liger, a UFO appeared and kidnapped him, while others watch. From the car that crashed, group runs into the forest. ANR stops to use inhalers. They notice that something was moving on the branches, and when we look closer, it moves and they panic and run away. They found a hiding place. I started treating Charlie's wounds. Suddenly, they heard Brandon screaming. He was injured by a bear trap. Charlie tried to help, but the trap is too strong, and Brandon kept screaming in pain. They're in front of the hunter's cabin, so I went inside to use the radio to call for help. Charlie heard a sound from the forest. We should investigate with a branch to defend ourselves. The hunter appeared, steal Charlie's weapon and start unlocking Kabranin. In the meantime, he was able to contact the US military via radio and frantically explain their situation, provide location and plead for help. The military made sure that the rescue team was on its way and directed them to the rendezvous point in Greens. When I finished the conversation, she saw an alien in front of her and screamed, running towards the others. The hunter initially pointed his gun at her, but dropped it. When you realize your panic, ANI announced that there's more aliens coming. The hunter helped Dan stand up and led them through the forest, using binoculars to observe. The hunter spotted an alien and moved to set traps. ANI informed the group that someone was coming to help and they need to meet the rescue team at the lake. While the hunter uses a flashlight to lure aliens into the trap and success, he approaches the creature teasing before destroying it. Charlie emerged from the forest, angry with the hunter for using them as bait. He tried to beat the hunter but was beaten back. Group quickly into the hunter's cabin inside. The hunter began to treat the wound Dan. Give me a drink and a stick to bite on. Before osteopathic and bandaging the legs, the brand fainted from the pain. Charlie then tell ANI that they need to leave immediately. ANI asked what they would do with Bandit, and Charlie suggested stealing the hunter's car. They agree that ANI will get the key, while Charlie keeps the hunter. Charlie joined the conversation, praised the hunter's work, and tried to keep him busy. In the conversation, the hunters knew they were going to take the car. It says the car doesn't work because the cylinder head is broken, and he had a hard time getting home. That afternoon, I realized that a car theft plan wasn't possible. Charlie asked if they could use a boat instead. The hunter confirms the boat is available, and they decided to use it as a means of escape. The hunter laughed, and ANI asked what was funny. I explained that they shouldn't leave right now. We have to wait until dawn because of the sunlight affect the metabolism of the aliens and slow them down. Charlie, seven hopes and worries, asked if the hunter really wanted to. They wait until dawn and what they're going to do in the meantime. The hunter, with a serious eye, say that they'll be lucky if they can walk 50 meters out the door without getting bored. The hunter then starts sharing a deeply personal story. He recounted his experience from July 4th, 1995. Vivid description about you sitting in the shuttle cockpit. Do a test before launch. Everything changes in the blink of an eye. I blinked and suddenly found myself lying on my stomach in the desert, 2,000 miles away. No memory of how he got there. Where have you been in the last 48 hours? The sense of disorientation and fear is evident when he talked about waking up in the wilderness. Strangely, over time, the pieces of memory start coming back. Discrete images of light, sound, smell, and taste taught him. He revealed that Captain Romanovic and he went through the same. Challenge to emphasize this point. He showed them the marks on his body.
Explain that.
This is how aliens do it.
Mark people with potential before making adjustments and upgrades. The hunter's story becomes more intense when he explained that
The aliens
have conducted these tests over 65 years ago. Catch one or two at a time.
all in preparation for a mass kidnapping.
Tonight,
Charlie couldn't believe what he was hearing. Interrupt you later
the hunter began to move objects on the table with head.
to show what upgrades have been made on him.
He shared that the understanding of these events doesn't come easy
It took years to put the pieces together.
and discovered that he was no longer himself. You've got nerve implants.
Connect him to the aliens in ways you can't understand.
He explained that
Aliens have come to Earth for millennia. Make the adjustments.
with human evolution at important times. The first astronaut was a chimpanzee, and the second one is.
Adopt emphasis on human use of lower species to experiment in the same way that aliens view humans,
These adjustments, according to the hunter, it's like upgrades, pushing human evolution forward.
every time they intervene.
The hunter talked about. He tried to warn people about the coming storm.
And mass kidnappings. He told everyone who could,
As his warnings were ignored,
like illusions.
determination, the hunter announced that tonight he would retaliate
He was prepared to fight.
against the aliens. Use everything you've learned over the years to survive and protect those who are with you.
The team recognizes the importance of the situation. They know they need to prepare for the coming storm, and mass kidnappings are coming.
The hunter is out.
To start laying traps around the cabin. Inside, ANI approaches Charlie with a worried look, seeking reassurance that they will escape. Charlie was lost in thought.
Wonder whether it's all happening for some reason.
I started talking about the tragic incident.
Carpet related to his girlfriend. Recall that shows when he suddenly woke up to her scream,
I was thrown out of the car,
but she's still stuck under the dashboard.
in smoke and chaos.
I tried to free you. He was helpless when the car exploded before I can save you.
When ANI and Charlie are talking,
The hunter is back.
follow the body of an alien. He went into another room and closed the door.
ANI starts waking up Brandon.
Tell me it's time to go. In the meantime, Charlie noticed the hunter dissecting the aliens.
Suddenly, a loud noise and bright light enveloped the cabin, forcing them to cover their ears.
The hunter walked out of the room, instruct them to stay in the house before going out. When another light flashed,
They realized Brendan was missing.
panic came.
When they saw an alien enter the house
Seized the opportunity, they tried to escape from the cabin.
and saw the hunter outside,
He told them to stand behind him and start shooting at. The aliens are coming.
give them the boat keys. You urged them to go,
Explain that the aliens came here.
because you and they have unfinished business. The hunter admitted that.
They're just unwitting people, being present at the wrong time, wrong place. He advised them to leave while they could.
As Charlie and ANI run through the forest,
Charlie suddenly stopped insisting on waiting.
he argued that the lake was too empty and they'll be safer in the woods. Annie 7 desperate, remind you that the lake is the designated meeting point.
You're asking questions about who's who. I spoke on the radio.
But she dismissed his concerns. I urge you to believe and make sure everything is okay.
ANI determined and persistent.
I decided to go to the lake alone.
Let Charlie make his own choice. At the boat, ANI's aneurysm recurred and she had trouble breathing.
Charlie heard her voice in trouble.
Should run to help.
They looked up together.
I saw a spacecraft coming and ANI was smiling. I think it's the American military that you contacted.
But as the spacecraft gets closer, they realized it was an alien ship. A beam of light appeared that enveloped ANI. Determined not to let go,
Charlie's hands held her tight and they were both kidnapped. Charlie wakes up submerged in a lake of green liquid.
dazed, I saw glowing objects.
The red around.
When you're moving in this strange environment, I heard a scream and followed the sound.
In the hope of finding Angie. Instead I found Brandon.
It's covered in tubes and an alien skin,
Charlie tried to free you, but feel nauseous when you see the tubes.
and had to leave.
Keep looking. Charlie discovered olive color and rock.
In a reservoir filled with liquid,
Below, Rock woke up and in a moment of wakefulness. Sorry Charlie for my previous behavior.
admits that you've lost control.
He assured Charlie that he was fine.
I noticed that Charlie seemed scared. I don't know where the kids are.
They heard her call Charlie. Charlie finds Aina in another blue liquid lake. I tried to pull her out,
and I saw tubes connected to her back.
When you pull her out, the tubes separate themselves.
Suddenly, an alien enters the room.
Charlie quickly hid in the lake.
After grabbing a blade,
When the aliens arrive, he attacked it but was pushed back into the lake. Charlie wakes up again to find the aliens.
I'm doing an experiment on myself.
I screamed in pain and passed out again.
When I woke up, I saw a woman standing nearby.
As she approached, I realized it was Metro, my lost girlfriend.
I'm sorry, and she assured him that everything was fine. Tell me I need to let go.
But this is just an illusion.
It's caused by alien experiments.
The next morning, Charlie woke up.
Naked in the forest with strange marks on the body.
Your clothes are neatly arranged next to you. Put your clothes on and start walking. Nearby, A and I also woke up. I noticed the same marks on my body.
And get dressed. They finally found each other.
But no one remembers what happened last night. Charlie kissed Aina and they went to the bungalow together. At the house, they saw Rock and Brendan was there.
Not long after, Kara also appears and Rock's out waiting for her. Meanwhile, scientists are monitoring the situation.
Received a notification that the alien spacecraft is still flying and just lost contact. Image. They were told to lower their altitude and start supporting them. Ground patrol team. In scanning all areas, there are contact reports. They confirmed that the guests were leaving and all the people who were kidnapped.
It seems to have been returned.
When your group starts driving away,
They encountered a military checkpoint
the soldiers noticed the marks on their bodies.
and ordered them out of the car. Suddenly, a soldier started shooting at them.
In the chaos,
Everyone except Charlie was shot
Charlie pulls a gun from a soldier.
and used those abilities.
It was given by aliens. The group of friends counterattack to destroy the soldiers.
The hunter appeared to help them in the fight.
Charlie.
Annie and Brendan walk away thinking Kara and Brock are dead. However, the bullet wounds on Kara's body heal quickly.
And she stood up to heal for Rock.
The movie ends with the three of them going into the forest. I saw a storm coming
And realized that their lives had changed forever.
after this horrible experience. And that's also the end of the movie.